Hello, eRank. Welcome to another live Q&A with me, Pam Duffy, and her, Starla Moore. Hey, hey,
We're very
Starla.
spooky. I got my
I know,
werewolf. You got your
I know.
skelly.
It's spooky season. Yeah, I every year I've got more and more Halloween casual clothes just for because last year it snuck up on me. I was like, I haven't had a chance to wear half of my colourful Halloween tops. So.
Now you are obligated to wear one every Thursday. Well, actually, you know what? Next Thursday is Halloween, which I
It
won't be
is. Oh,
because I got to take
hey,
my little one out for Halloween.
hey, chat. What should we do for a Halloween live stream? Hmm. The puppy's got costumes.
Spookiest SEO myths that will murder your Etsy shop.
Look at you, clickbait title straight away.
Very spooky. I think that would be a good spooky topic.
Yeah. Oh, so guys, yeah, think of your own SEO myths that you've heard, and we'll do a post and ask about them and chat about them. I know the alphas, Starla has been talking about this forever and does a great job of this. So hopefully you'll have some cool ideas from her. Yes.
Oh yeah, I've got tons of videos. What I do is I do a video about SEO myths, and then I say, and now post in the comments with more SEO myths, and then people give me more myths, and then I make more videos, and then
Next
I can do
video.
that
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. It's like every year there's a new made up thing that you have to do.
Well,
But
yeah, the new one
that's for
is
next week.
the new one is that Etsy changed Etsy just changed the algorithm and it's killed everybody's traffic. That's the new thing, and I'm like, have you guys looked at election year traffic, the past, in 2020 and 2016? So that's my video on Tuesday, is I'm analyzing web traffic patterns in the weeks leading up to US elections so that people can see, yeah, it's easy to blame the algorithm because we don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But, in reality, this is what happens every time there's a US election worldwide, not just in the US.
Yeah.
Everybody, the whole world holds their breath.
Yeah. And a lot of these things do come over from Google SEO, and it's myths on Google that people repeat because you see that all the time. I mean, yes, Google changes the algorithm, it changes stuff, it does, but people are like, every time their traffic goes down, the Google algorithms changed, it's killed everything. And so now people are saying that. And to be perfectly honest, it's repeated because I know so many people are looking for videos and blogs on the Etsy algorithms changed, and they'll click on that. So people make videos on that. And then people won't even read the blogs or watch the videos. They'll just see that and go, oh, the algorithm's changed, and pass it on. Whereas the video might not actually be about that. It might be explaining something a little bit better.
Exactly. And I mean, I did it too, because technically, it did change very, very slightly. Just
Yes,
ever,
totally.
so teeny tiny slightly. So yes, it did change, but not to the point where everybody's traffic is tanking because of it. It's more like Etsy added one more factor,
Yeah.
that we
It's not even, is it? Because they had the factor of free shipping was supposed to give you priority placement in search in the US. And then they changed it to $6 or less shipping. So yeah, it's a tweak for the better, really. And I I have had it from several people at all different levels in Etsy. They said to me, the algorithm has not changed, and they have no plans to change the algorithm. With all these big updates and everything, they were just giving us more streamlined advice. It wasn't an algorithm change.
but it doesn't matter. And I've got all this data and graphs and all these stats, and I'm going to publish
Yeah.
that video on Tuesday, and people are still going to say, but my shop, but me. And I'm like, yes, but you, because this is what happens around this time every 4 years. But unfortunately, most sellers who encounter these problems, those of you who have been around for a really long time, you're able to think way far back and say to yourself, you know what, come to think of it, this did happen in 2016. Now 2020, it's a little bit harder because that was pandemic year. So we have to think way back to 2016. And yes, this did happen in 2016. And you know what? It kind of, when we actually look at the data, it technically happened in 2020. I just don't think that it affected Etsy as much as it did other online platforms. But that's the hard thing, is thinking way back. Because, if we go farther than 2016, at that point, internet trends have changed and people are still shopping in stores a little bit more than they were online. Whereas in these last, 4, 8 years, we've gone from making some purchases online to making nearly all of our purchases online. So we also have to think about how shoppers have changed a bit. And we need to also think about how much availability there is for products, where, previously it's like, oh, if you want something handmade, you go to Etsy. But if you want a t-shirt, you got to go to like jcpenney's.com or something. And now you can go to Etsy for anything. You can go to Amazon for anything. Amazon even has handmade stuff. It's like all the places that once specialized in one thing have now flip-flopped, and you can get anything on these platforms. So there's more availability. And the demand is still there, but the supply has shot through the roof. So there's so many other factors that are contributing in. But the key thing that I'm going to be teaching on Tuesday is that after the election passes, things are probably going to bounce back to normal, because people still have to buy Christmas gifts. Some of the data that I collected for this video, the paneled consumers said that basically, if something was for the right, like, they're more likely to look at something that is on sale, or they get a good discount for. But no matter what, if the price is right, they've got to shop even if they don't have the money. Like, that is a thing to think about, because people around holiday times, they got to buy gifts no matter what. So they're going to put that stuff on credit cards. They're going to scrounge up pennies. They're going to do whatever they can to buy those gifts for their families. So even in a poor economy, the one thing that we can be sure of is that people are still going to buy holiday gifts.
Yeah. If you think what you do yourself, chances are you might not buy so much little sort of tat gifts, but you'll buy that nice thing. You'll spend the money on something nice. I don't know if it's just new. I just heard about it. It might just be the UK. But for sellers, could be an interesting one for a little extra with no risk to you, is that eBay's just doing no fees now. No fees for sellers. So that's a good one to look into, guys. I think eBay fell behind with everything, but yeah, it's worth a try. I used to sell some of my sculptures on eBay. It did kind of work. I don't know why I stopped. Yeah.
And Jessica, she just shared that Etsy sent an email saying that during the holiday season, purchase protection is increased to $500, which they did that last year as well. So that's awesome.
Very good. Yes, I hoped they would do that again. And guys, if you haven't, read up on the purchase protection. You should do this all year, but it's so important at Christmas time. I think this is the time when Etsy's going to be refunding people the most. They hurry through with this. Some people have been telling me now, Etsy hasn't been automatically refunding everyone on the purchase protection program. Some people have had customers complain about things, and obviously Etsy's doing a wee Karen check and saying, hang on, you've been doing this a lot, and they're closing cases without refunding them, without hurt to the seller. So it's changed. But over Christmas, shipping's going to be late, all sorts of things. So customers are going to complain because Etsy promises your item on time or your money back. So customers are quite rightly going to complain. Etsy is going to refund them because that's their policy. So you have to make sure your items are, if you can, are eligible for the purchase protection program, so that Etsy refunds it out of Etsy's money rather than your money. But yeah, that up to $500 is great, because what is it, 200, 250 just now. It's not enough at Christmas time when you're looking to convince everyone to bundle together to buy bigger gifts from you. It can quite easily get well over 250.
Yeah. Speaking of holiday time and people spending a lot of money on Etsy, I found a great keyword the other day. Bulk Christmas gifts for coworkers. So if you guys offer any type of gift sets or bundles or, things like that, write that keyword down. Bulk Christmas gifts for coworkers. I'd never seen that term before. The competition is pretty low. Searches aren't awful. They're pretty darn good. Might be a fun one to experiment with if you offer things in bulk.
Yeah, that's cool.
Are you searching? Are you looking?
No.
I like throwing out these free ones every once in a while, like, because I get in these rabbit holes where I look for these, decent searches, low competition keywords. I hope that I got the order of that term right.
Well, I hope I've spelt it right.
Christmas gifts for coworkers.
Oh,
Is that the
okay,
one?
yeah. Well, I've got something right. Let's see if I can pull that up. I can't remember how to do this. There we go. Was that the one you saw?
Yes. So look at that nice big spike last year. I don't know what it's going to look like this year. We're going to have to wait till November, December to see. I love all those last minute shoppers who did all their shopping in December, where most searches peak in November.
Yes, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that do that. So that's a good one. If you're aiming for that, you should probably be thinking of things that are ready to ship or digital type things.
Ooh,
if people
digital.
But yeah, good call. Definitely looks like a US only one as well. You Americans are weird.
I know. Well, if a lot of the times there's the company Christmas party and you got to do the white elephant gifts. Do you guys do white elephant gifts there?
So long since I've worked in a company. We would do like a Secret Santa, so you only have to buy one person a gift.
Oh yeah, well we do that too, but white elephant is where you buy something ridiculous. So you give something just absolutely absurd during the white elephant gifting event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be a good keyword to stack, because white elephant gifts, I'm sure that has probably some decent searches. And then bulk Christmas gifts for coworkers, you could probably stack those together and do white elephant bulk Christmas gifts for coworkers, and then you'd be ranking for both. So just got to give you guys the freebies. I'm like Oprah with the keywords. I'll give you guys all the good ones.
And this is the time of year to post your ugly things as well, for like the white elephant and stuff all year round. But I remember, this was years ago. We're away on holiday with some friends, and they had other friends looking after their cats. And every time we went away, they wanted to get the most horrible present as a gift. And we found a craft stall somewhere, and the woman was selling clay shapes. They looked like they came out the back of a cat, literally. They were in lots of different colors, but they looked like that. They had little hands and a little face, and they were the ugliest things. And everybody else was ignoring this stall, and my friends were there gushing over these because they were so ugly. And so the woman thought that suddenly people love her work, but no, it was just for the ugliest gift.
That's perfect. And she never has to know.
Exactly. Yes, sure. It made that woman's day as well, that a purple cat poo with a face on it. I don't know what she thought they were, but anyway.
All right. Well, guys, we thought that it might be fun today for you to give us some suggestions for what you would like to see when it comes to eRank tools in 2025. We're constantly working on new things. I can think of about a dozen things that we're working on. In fact, this week we were supposed to have a surprise guest join us to make an announcement, but the thing that we were working on isn't done yet. So Pam and I were shocked.
Yeah. any of you guys that have been around here long enough will know we're always working on something, and there's always like things that we're excited about and we want to sneak to you, and then it takes 6 months to to get finished or something because we want to make it awesome. But yes, let us know. And no, Anna, the guest wasn't the puppy. He's really terrible at graphs. I've got to teach him that much better. He's awful at that. But yeah, let us know the things that you wish eRank could do, ideas. We already had someone in the Facebook group reply. I can't remember who just now because I've got puppy brain. It's a thing. But saying in the competitor listings, they'd like to see the average daily views. I didn't even realize we didn't have that. That should be a simple thing. I can't guarantee anything because we'll tell you. Tell us the ideas. We'll pass them on to the clever people. Starla's brilliant. Starla's a genius, but she can't code any of this stuff. Nope. I'm an idiot. I can't code any of this stuff. So we have to go. We have to go to the clever people and say, "What do you think of this as an idea?"
So, or is this even possible to begin with? Will Etsy allow us to do this?
Yes.
Susanna said, I would like it to be easier to interpret the data. For example, if the CTR is low, what does that mean? If a keyword is flat all year round and then has a spike, why is that, etc.? So the challenge with that is that there's often not an answer that there's any way for us to display. So for example, like you had said, if a keyword is flat all year round and then has a spike, Taylor Swift might have gone on the Today Show and talked about her favorite weird coffee drink. And that week, everybody runs to Etsy and searches for merchandise with that weird coffee drink. There's no way for eRank to know that Taylor Swift was on the Today Show and talked about this weird coffee drink, and therefore that's why it spiked. So that's one of those unfortunate things where it's the seller's responsibility to kind of spend time doing that analysis. And, a lot of times Google can be your best friend, or you can just search for that term on Google and say 2024 or November 2024 and see, did a celebrity say something? Was it on the news? Was there some viral TikTok that took off? Someone will have made a YouTube video or wrote a blog post about it. But a lot of times they are just weird little anomalies that pop up out of nowhere. However, there's also the case of, our data sets. So occasionally when it comes to the data that we get, as we've said, time and time again, that it's a lot like, how TV ratings are collected. We have millions and millions and millions of people who are okay with their web activity being tracked. That's how we are able to, obtain this data and share it with you all. And millions and millions and millions of people gives us a fantastic average when it comes to what the, average shopper on Etsy is searching for. However, every once in a while, when it comes to really obscure terms, sometimes in those millions and millions of people, no one was searching for that specific thing, or not enough people were searching for that specific thing for that data set to be significant enough for us to learn from it. And rather than trying to guess or saying, well, maybe people were searching for it, we typically will just show that result as 0. It doesn't mean that nobody in the world is searching for it. It just means out of the millions and millions of people that are within our data sets, not enough of them were searching for it to be statistically significant. And that's where sometimes we see those anomalies where there will be a huge spike and then zeros across the board. Now, when it comes to those keywords, though, those are the terms that I personally like to experiment with for 2 reasons. First of all, if I know my niche, like thank you, dear. If I know my target audience, I know my niche, I know that there are people in my target, my target customers are searching for this thing, and I still see zeros within eRank, I know that it doesn't mean that no one's searching for it. It likely just means that eRank doesn't have anybody within that data set that's searching for that term. My competitors, however, they might be looking at those exact same numbers. They might be doing that exact same keyword research, and they might see those zeros and think to themselves, oh, nobody's searching for this. I'm not going to use that keyword. often those terms that are very niche specific that appear to not be good, sometimes those end up being the best hidden gems. And it's a good thing that eRank doesn't have that data, because if it's a very specific term that is, you know, for me, I sell bookish merch and we officially license with authors. And sometimes it's products related to book characters, you know, names, like a first and a last name. The average shopper isn't going to know what that is. They're not going to know who that is. They're not going to know to search for that first and last name. But I know that this is the sexy hero of the story, and that people who have read this book are going to want merchandise with this particular character on it. So in that case, that's the keyword that I'm going to use. And I'm happy that in some of these cases, there isn't a lot of data to support it, because that's data that my competitors would use and run with as well. So don't be afraid to experiment with those terms where you know that people are searching for that thing. Now, obviously, if you use that term and after 4 months, you don't get any traffic from it, or you're not seeing results, you know, you could always be wrong and find out, okay, maybe nobody really was searching for it. But it never hurts to experiment, because sometimes you find really good keywords in that bunch.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to do some little secrets here, because if you don't know, our lovely Jan does some trends. That looks like a good coffee. Does our trend blogs every month and dives into the data, and she's so good at that. And I talk to her quite a lot about this. We really love all the data. And we look into quite a lot of this. Firstly, I will say to everyone, we have no idea why Bruno Mars spiked so bad a couple of months ago. Like, he came out of nowhere. But things come out as a spike. There are sometimes we see the reason, and that, as Starla said, it can be an influencer. But another thing is, if Etsy's promoting something on the front page with a call to action, when you click on that, that populates a search results page, which basically means you've done a search. You just didn't know you were doing a search.
Yeah.
So that comes across in our data as people have searched, because you have. So if it's on the front page, that can drive a whole lot of traffic. So that's why we say, if you see a massive spike from nothing to a massive spike, if it's very relevant to your niche, okay, go for it. But don't spend any money on it. Wait for a couple of months and see, because often what will happen is Etsy puts it up for a week or two and then it dies away. So you'll see spikes to the moon and then they die. That was just an Etsy thing. But this also ties into the click-through rate. Now, Jan in the blogs on the trend report goes into a lot of this all in detail. But the click-through rate, this is, if someone searches for it, if they see something on the page they like and click on it, then that counts as a click. The click-through rate is the percentage of people who've searched who've clicked on something on a page. So if the click-through rate is low, that means that a lot of people have searched, but they haven't necessarily found something they liked. So on Etsy, click-through rates tend to be high because we've got a good purchase intent. People are looking to shop. So looking at things 70, 80, 90, even up to 150%. How can it be over 100%? People might click on something and then go back to the search and then click on another thing. So you can have more than 100%. But if the click-through rate is low, that means they haven't seen something. But we have, right, I'm only saying this because you're the 42 special people that get the secret things. We have seen a couple of times Etsy sort of messes up. Firstly, they mess up with terms that people aren't all that interested in. They'll put things on the front page that never spike because no one's clicked. Or sometimes people click and go, nah, I didn't like that. Sometimes they mess up, and when you click on the call to action that says dorm decor, it takes you to the wrong search page. So that's why a click-through rate can be low. People have clicked on dorm decor and it's kiddies jumpers. They're like, what? And they go, that's just Etsy making a mistake. So that can be, if you see a massive spike and the click-through rate's dead low, it probably means Etsy was pushing something and the people didn't like what Etsy was pushing. Quite often, Etsy has a whole load of data. So if they push a term, it does really well with a high click-through rate. Even if the spike dies away, you might be saying, hang on. So when Etsy told people to really like dorm decor, they really like dorm decor. Maybe that's not a term they use, but they like stuff to decorate dorm rooms at this time of year. So it gives you some ideas.
I don't
But yeah.
really, I probably don't look at click-through rates as much as I should, but when I do look at click-through rates, I'm almost happy on both sides. I'm happy when the click-through rate is high because I'm like, oh, cool, people are actually exploring these items. But if the click-through rate is low, I look at what is on that search page and I think to myself, okay, people don't like any of this. How can I make my thing better so that it's the thing that gets clicked on? People don't like anything that's on this search page, which means I need to out design everybody on this page and make my thing even better. So I try to be as different as possible when it comes to those, the way that products are photographed and even the item itself when it comes to things that have very low click-through rates, because I'm just assuming that because they're not clicking on anything, they're just not satisfied with the results. And I want to be that result that they are satisfied with.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. It could be a great opportunity for you. And we do have in the keyword tool, you can look and see what the top listings are that are ranking for these things. Go and have a look and be like, are they relevant for that keyword? Are they any good? Can I do better than that? That's always a good way. Like, people ask how to do the best SEO and stuff, and there's so much great advice out there, but the best advice is, when you find a keyword, make something that people want to buy. And you can do that by coming in and looking at what other people are making and going, how can I be better than them? Sadly, the truth is, people have to like what you're making. So
Exactly.
yeah, a low click-through rate could be a really great niche where people are rubbish. So that would be a good one.
Well, and also very vague terms, for example, bulk Christmas gifts for coworkers. I mean, it seems like it's very specific, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's a long tail keyword, but it's not. It could be anything. That could be mugs. That could be necklaces. Yeah, let's see. Can you move her comment off the screen?
Oh, yep. Thank you. I can't see that screen when I'm on that screen.
Oh, you're fine. Let's see.
I can probably make this bigger to zoom. There we go. Too big. Right. So yeah, this is always a good way to see for these vague things. So what is it? Thank you gift box.
None of these are descript.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. It looks like socks or something. I don't know. Guys, when you're making something, like, I can see a picture, but it's bulk gifts for teachers. It doesn't tell me what the thing is. Good grief. Yeah, so this is very random. You definitely could jump in here. I know. I'm going to buy all my co-workers a knife. Don't. Oh, there's a good one. Business logo keychain. That's great if you do personalized things. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Cocoa, is that a cocoa set? Like,
yeah, hot chocolate. Yay.
I could see that because of the big sign in the background, not necessarily because of the products themselves.
Yeah, it works. You can see it. It's a great idea. Yeah, treats, coffee, tea, hot chocolate. Yeah, that's what we all used to do in offices all the time. Yes, so personalized stuff.
I'm surprised that there's no like stationery. Like, where's the stationery? Where are the pens? Where is the actual office stuff that people could use at work? There's so many somebody needs to go make this stuff. Go make it right now.
Exactly. Totally got a niche here. Right. Although, of course, all the stationery stuff, you can just steal it from work. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that, guys. But yeah, so you could be, I mean, who are you selling to? You could be doing a corporate thing for the boss. I remember one company, yeah, it probably won't be loved. I remember one company I worked at, they told us we didn't have money for our bonuses, but for our Christmas gift, they gave us a little clipboard with the company logo on, and nobody liked it. It was like, yeah, thanks. just give us our bonuses.
Yeah, here you get a pizza party. They're like, oh, you know what you want is a raise, but what you get is a pizza party.
Hey, I'd take Anthony. I'll take pizza. I can be bought for pizza. It's fine.
Scott loves our shirts.
It's the favorite time of the year.
Let's see. Fruit Dragon, I would love to be able to add more keyword list. I have the middle plan and would still like more without going for the full pro plan. Like if you could pay a bit more for an extra 10 lists. We need like little tiny, not necessarily full plans, but little like personalized upsells. I just don't think that eRank is currently built to customize a plan like that. Because that's
we can pass it on to the team.
I like
I've
the
been
idea. It's just,
Yeah, I've been loving when I started at eRank and I was coming up with ideas. I was always trying to think like little things, what's possible. But now we're just like, here, developers, give us the moon on a stick, and you decide what's possible. So we can ask them. I think personalized plans or pay a little more to get a little more. I don't know if it's possible. It would probably be a nightmare, but that's not my problem. So hit us with these ideas, and if you can keep it polite. How about hitting us with ideas that Etsy could do as well? Nice ones, because Etsy's not all horrible. I was actually watching a thing on that made me think of this. I was watching a thing, people were talking about stuff that Amazon do, and Etsy copies Amazon so much. But one that I thought that could solve some problems and would be kind of cool is certain sellers, when they're new, are only allowed to list a certain number of items, which might stop some of the drop shippers coming in and putting up 2,000 listings all at once and then ripping people off and dropping. So I thought that was a kind of cool idea. Like once you've made a certain number of sales and proven yourself, then you can make more listings.
yeah. You know what sorry, my camera keeps like going out of focus. Oh well. You've got me looking all blurry, but then the cat stand over here keeps shaking because Bubbers for some reason he's like rolling all around. So it's chaos over here, pure chaos. I've been doing a lot of Etsy shopping myself lately on mobile. Pretty much every morning, I just kind of sit on Etsy now. I'm sick of social media. I'm sick of, it's all politics and stuff. Are you guys fatigued by it? I sure am. But I get on Etsy because it's fun. I find cool things, stuff that I'll never buy, but I'm going to favorite it anyway, And one thing that I really have thought for a long time when it comes to Etsy's mobile app, I really wish that this would focus on me. I feel like I'm just making it worse. I am. It'll catch up eventually. But anyway, one of the things that I really wish that they would do on their app. So when you're shopping as a shopper and you're using the actual like shopping app, they'll do sets of 6 items that say, because you viewed, this thing, here are 6 items related to that, and they'll do that. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3 of those blocks. So 3 blocks of 6 items that say, because you viewed these cute little wooden bears, here's more little wooden bears. Because you viewed this sculpture, here's a bunch of related sculptures. Because you viewed this little desk trinket, here's 6 more desk trinkets. But I feel like, especially as someone like me who spends so much time on Etsy, one thing that they did finally add, if you keep scrolling all the way to the bottom, because they've got, their editors picks, they've got the most loved videos where you can look at all the different Etsy videos. But if you keep scrolling all the way to the bottom, they have a section called Dive into a World of Possibilities. And it is just a whole blurry feed, since my camera isn't focusing, a whole blurry feed of different items. And you can just infinitely scroll, kind of like how on Pinterest you can infinitely scroll. But what I've noticed is that these items have nothing to do with me, anything I've searched in the past, any of my interests, any of my past favorites. Etsy has so much data on me that what I really want, because I shop for bookish products, I'm a reader. you know, I constantly am searching for things related to bookish products. I sell bookish products. I do it for product research, but I also buy a lot of it. What I want is a whole feed that infinitely scrolls of things that I haven't seen before, that I might not necessarily know that I want to buy, but that are related to things that I've looked at in the past. And right now, Etsy gives me a lot of really cute stuff, but it's not stuff related to anything I'm even interested in. And it's not stuff that I'm ever going to buy. I feel like Etsy collects enough data through, you know, personalization and machine learning that they could create a feed of just tons and tons of items that customers didn't know that they wanted to buy related to past searches, which is ultimately what search pages do. When you search for something specific, you get a feed of items that are customized for you, but you have to initiate that initial search first to be able to trigger that. And what I really want when I'm sitting on Etsy, and what Josh, you know, he's been talking about making Etsy more of an entertainment platform where you go when you have 10 minutes to spare. What would make that really happen for me is like when, for those of you who have a Pinterest mobile app, when you get on Pinterest on mobile, your whole Pinterest feed is related to things that you've looked at in the past. So mine is a combination of book fan art, book related products, kind of gothy home decor, because that's stuff that I buy, recipes that like I right now I'm looking at a lot of like soups and like fall recipes. So I've got lots of fall recipes, and it's not oversaturated with just one of those things. It's a combination of interesting things all related to stuff that I've searched and pinned in the past. And Etsy doesn't have anything similar to that. And I really don't like that, because I would probably spend a lot more money on Etsy and a lot more time on Etsy if they showed me more rather than just these little blocks of 6 items based on, you know, oh, here's 6 things related to something that you searched for yesterday.
Yeah. And too often everybody's telling me how most of us are seeing our own stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a lot of what we've searched for is ourselves. So, yeah, I think Pinterest does it good. TikTok is very good for figuring out what you want to watch. I hate to say it, Shein and Temu are, yay, here's Starla back. Shein and Temu are very good at showing you what you want to buy. There are algorithms out there that are really good at this. And yeah, how Josh has been talking, this is something that they're obviously thinking about. But guys, Etsy guys, because of course out of the 47 people watching, like 10 of them are Etsy, of course. But yeah, Etsy, if you're watching this, please, yeah, some kind of algorithm that helps us see not just very basic of what we've searched for, but what we want to love. That would be really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since they really want to become that entertainment platform. And, you know, especially right now, I've been doing a lot of research in the platforms that people are spending more time on, and they're spending more time watching video content. So I'm going to assume that that's, you know, TikTok, Instagram Reels, things like that. They're spending more time on Pinterest. I think that people are fatigued by politics and news, and they're looking for happy places to spend their time online. And I'm doing that too. I'm trying to stay off Facebook. I'm trying to stay off places where there's a lot of news and things, because, you know, it can bring you down when you're, you know, when you're just only looking at that type of content. And Etsy could be a really positive space where people could admire, even if they don't shop. Maybe they're willing to share it on social media. Look at this cool thing that I saw, you know, look, oh, I'm going to post this on my Pinterest, you know, look at this really neat, you know, mug that I found. Even if they never buy it, those shoppers could then become advertisers. And I think that Etsy needs to do more, because this would be something simple based on data that they already have, but instead they're trying to reinvent the wheel by, you know, creating gift mode and all of these things that just aren't necessarily there. I think that they're relying way too much on trying to give people this AI experience and trying to be the leading force of that, which Josh did say during his, he did a Gen AI interview, like a big tech interview, which if you just search Josh Silverman AI interview, it'll pop right up. But he said he doesn't just want to use AI, you know, on Etsy to customize the shopper experience. He wants to be a leader in AI. So they want to invent the systems and basically create the ideas until consumers are so comfortable with AI that it becomes the standard. And he knows that we're not there yet, but you know, I just feel like it's that whole progress for the sake of progress, where in reality it's still not quite what we're asking for.
Yeah. I mean, Etsy Explore. Come on, you started. How many years ago did they start with Etsy Explore?
Still don't have it.
Yeah, exactly. A few people with iPhones have it, but put the time and money into that when you started with it. That could have been bigger than Gift Mode already.
Yeah, and I'm interested. I mean, I have the videos. Like, as a shopper, I could look at them. I just can't post any. So, I mean, unless they're just not seeing results from it. And if that's the case, if they're not seeing the results enough that they want to invest more time into, you know, creating the option for Android users, maybe they need to spend a little bit more time ensuring that they're better advertising the feature so that more people can actually know that it exists. You know, maybe rather than having, like, because right now it's just this. Right now, it's just this tiny little section right here that says most loved videos, and you can scroll through them. Maybe they need to blow up one of them real big so that it takes up the whole screen and it starts playing automatically. So while you're scrolling, you go, oh, you know, here, oh, I want to watch this person crocheting this hat. Kind of like how we do on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, where we scroll past a video and it catches our eye and we stop and watch it. But as of right now, you got to click on it. And if it doesn't immediately grab your attention with that still image that's on the screen, then you're not going to watch it anyway. So I feel like they're missing the mark on a couple of things. They need to hire some, like, I don't know, some youngins, some of these young TikTok people to tell them how to do
some
it.
people over from TikTok, and you're right, advertise it. They launched Gift Mode with a bang, and Etsy Explore was such a whimper. I don't think even half the sellers are aware of it, let alone customers. But yeah, it should be on your front page, top of your front page. Not, it could be so cool. It could really help us all.
Tamara, I'm a little confused. This was in relation to the adding more keyword lists. She said maybe 5 extra lists. There's been a slight increase in price since something in the payments changed.
Oh, yes. For some people, we've moved over to a different payment method. You should have got
paddle.
an email about that. Yeah, the paddle.
Got it.
So check your spam for that. And what this has meant is, for some people, you will be paying VAT or sales tax. Think so. There will be a slight increase. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not us getting anything. That's the government getting stuff. So yes, I forgot that had happened. Yes, sorry. That's a thing I believe we had to do because of governments and stuff.
Oh, of course. Let's see. Bryan said, in Shop Insights, is there a way to look at traffic stats by listing instead of by keyword?
Let's go look. So sort of, yes. So I'm trying to think. So here we've got the traffic stats. If you've connected up your Google Analytics, we say this all the time, but get that done, because we can only get the data from Google from when you connect up your Google Analytics to your Etsy shop and then to eRank, and then you get all this data. So then you'll see for the time period you've chosen, you'll see for the specific keywords. But you can look at specific listings. So for example, this listing, if I want to look at it, I can hit the traffic stats button. Bet you it's going to go, oh, it's not going dead slow. Yeah. So I can see this listing and I can see the keywords that this listing was found for.
Corgi and Borgie.
Yep, a lot of corgi. I did well with the corgi. So you can see the keywords there. Another place, I haven't looked at mine for ages, but spotted on Etsy again, you can see keywords and what listings they were found for. So let's close that down. Now I've zoomed in my screen. Yeah, so you can see the spotted by Google Analytics. That's because I've connected up my Google Analytics, so you can, good grief. That's Italian. Yeah, so you can see the keywords you're found and what listings you were found for there. Yeah, so basically just click through things. But if you want different views for this, like, I'm super excited about our traffic stats tool. Sadly, especially because Etsy got rid of our search analytics data, so we have less data. So if you're aware of any data that you have on Google Analytics that you would like eRank to be able to show you, let us know. Let us know how we can show it, what you want to see, because we should be able to get any of the data that you have for your Google Analytics. If Google Analytics shows it, I believe we should be able to get it for you, because Google Analytics shows things. It's really difficult to find stuff, so we'll be able to pull it all together. So I think we will be able to convince the developers that it's a cool thing to work on, because we now don't have that data from Etsy.
Yeah,
So.
and not to mention, I mean, I haven't logged into Google Analytics since I connected my shop to traffic stats, because I mean, it's so confusing. I don't know if you guys have actually tried to click around and figure it out.
It doesn't make sense. That's why we did this, basically.
Yeah, I haven't even checked my Google Analytics, just mostly live in eRank. It is very confusing. But that's exactly why we have this tool within eRank, because even us working at eRank, we don't know how to use Google Analytics, but we know that people like Anthony who do understand Google Analytics, they're going to be able to select the most important things that we actually care about and the information that's relevant to Etsy sellers. Because there's a lot of things that aren't relevant, within Google Analytics, that we just don't need to see. But because when you go to Google Analytics, you see all this stuff and you don't know what's important and what's not important, we need to know, okay, what do I actually need to be looking at? And that's the data that we pull from Google Analytics to show to you guys through eRank. But if there's anything that we've missed or anything, if there are any Google Analytics nerds out there who really love Google Analytics and who do understand it, and, there's a feature that we're overlooking, then absolutely let us know, because we can always add to, because this is data that already exists. We've already got this API access. So it would really just be building a tool around data that is already there and displaying it in a way that makes sense for the average person. It's just sometimes Google Analytics doesn't display things in plain stinking English, as I say,
Yeah. And that's, we want to display the data that's helpful for all of you guys. We don't, the problem, I love data. I would love to show all the data, but I'm also aware that a lot of people can get bogged down with the data. And if we present too much, then they'll sit wanting to figure it all out. What do I need to do with this, this, and this? And quite often, with most of the data, you don't really need to do anything with it. Look at it. What, thank you, Corbett, bless you. Yeah, quite often you don't have to do anything with quite a lot of the data. You maybe look at it once every few months and go, oh, that's a bit higher, and step away from it. Whereas people are like wanting to check things every day, every single bit, and it's probably not helpful. So we don't want to get you bogged down. Was it paralysis by over-analysis?
Right. Some data isn't actionable data. It's just stuff that some people might want to know. I kind of consider click-through rate to be that kind of data, because, if it's high, that can be good. If it's low, that can be good. But both depend on specific circumstances and how you execute. And, that is, here's my lesson when it comes to anything related to Etsy SEO. And this is something that anytime I'm asked to teach Etsy SEO, most of the time, what people want me to teach, I'm not able to teach, because there is no cut and dry answers. The answer to Etsy SEO is that some things work, some things don't, but nothing fits in a perfect square box. And most of us, our brains work in absolutes. We want, if this, then that. If I put these keywords in my listing, this is the result that I will get. And one of the most common comments that I get, and Pam, I'm sure that you probably get comments like this too, people will say, eRank told me all my keywords are good and I'm not making sales, therefore eRank is bad. or therefore eRank doesn't work. But that's not how SEO works, because eRank never tells you that a keyword is good. That's not what eRank does. eRank tells you data that cannot be disputed because it is real data. And again, one of my favorite quotes is that data cannot be inaccurate so long as it is true. It only becomes more accurate the more you quantify it. It gets more precise the more data that there is. So the data that we have is real data. It is real shoppers that are having their behavior tracked, and we're able to show that to you guys so that you can get good averages. But there are a lot of other factors besides keywords that contribute to your success. You could have the best keywords in the world. What if your pictures aren't great? Or what if your pictures are too good? Sometimes your pictures look so good and so professional that they don't look real. And then the customers get suspicious because they think that it looks like an Amazon listing or something that was drop shipped. What if your photos are great and the customers like those, and your keywords are great, but what if your pricing is way too low and customers are looking at it and they're like, that pricing is suspiciously low. I'm suspicious of this item because, that number, I feel like it wouldn't even cover supply costs. Like, why is that so low? This item must be junk. Or, what if it is a seasonal product? I have people contact me and they want to know why their snowman earrings aren't selling. Well, sweetheart, it's June. Of course they were selling in November and December. And of course they quit selling when, spring and summer rolled around, because that's not an item that's going to sell all year round. So seasonality of products. Trends change. Things that people were interested in a couple months ago might not be as interesting now. There's so many factors that contribute. It's almost like, going to the doctor and saying, "Oh, doc, my stomach hurts so bad." Well, you can't just say, "Hey, doc, what's wrong with me? My stomach hurts." The doctor's going to have to do an x-ray. The doctor's going to have to get like a urine sample. The doctor's going to have to do blood tests. The doctor's going to, let's try this medication and see if this helps. Okay, that didn't help. Let's try this medication and see if that helps. Oh, well, maybe you need a surgery. Let's send you to go, here and get this procedure done. Let's send you, because there is no cut and dry answer. It's a process of elimination. And people want to know exactly what, if I do this, what is the result of that? But that's just not how SEO works. And unfortunately, it can make people like Pam and I act like we don't know what we're talking about, because, we get questions where people are like, why won't it work? Well, there's a lot of reasons why it might not be working. And we have no way to tell you why unless we do an in-depth analysis of your shop. And even then, we still don't have the insight to be able to directly pinpoint what the problem may be, because it could be something internal within your actual target customer base. And this is why it's so important to have a niche that you know and you understand, something that you're passionate about, where you understand the trends. You keep track of what people are interested in. I don't know how people run general stores where they sell a whole lot of everything. How do you even keep track of what's trending and what your target audience expects of you when you're trying to sell everything?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I know you get it. I get it all the time. Whenever we're asked to talk or do a presentation or anything, the number one thing is always, "Oh, can you show how to use the keyword tool to pick all your 13 tags for this kind of thing?" Like, no. No, I can't, because I don't know what's the item, what does it look like, what's worked before for keywords. I can't just go and pick 13 tags and tell you that's going to work.
Exactly. And if you come to us with a product that we know nothing about the target customer for, or the niche, we're going to give you crappy keywords because we don't know the inside jokes. We don't know the lingo. It's like when I'm looking at Amber Marie, she does products for very specific dog breeds, and she specifically targets breeds that don't already have a lot of merch, for them. She likes to take these very rare dog breeds because the owners of those dogs want merch, but they're not going to find it, in big box stores like you would Labradors and Corgis, which are more common dogs. So when I look at her tags, she'll have like tags for like gun dogs and all these like different categories for these breeds. And I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what breeds are classified as gun dogs. Are they hunting dogs? Is that what those are? I don't know. when I look at her keywords, they don't make any sense to me because I am not her target customer. I am not part of that niche, but she's very knowledgeable about all these things because she educates herself so that she knows what keywords to use because she's very close to that niche. And because of that, she runs a 6-figure Etsy shop. So, you know, it's not just about making a lot of everything for everybody, because there's no possible way that you're going to be able to do those deep rabbit hole dives into a target customer when you have hundreds and hundreds of target customers. It's not possible.
Yeah. And it's got to be relevant. You're talking about like Amber Marie, she has talent as well. When she finds a good keyword, when the people find her for it, they love her things. I was just thinking there, you might find a great keyword to do with wedding things, but if your item is a pottery figure that looks like it came out of the back of a cat, perhaps people aren't going to see that as a good fit. And yeah, Debbie's just said, I think of SEO as a large jigsaw puzzle. As I find a good term, I can fill in part of the puzzle. It's a puzzle and it's a science experiment.
Yeah, it's almost like those puzzles. Have you seen those puzzles where every piece does fit together? And the challenging thing is you have to complete the picture with just your knowledge of what the picture is, because every piece technically fits together, and that's what makes it challenging. You could make the puzzle, but the picture won't be the right picture unless you know what the actual picture is supposed to be, so that you're building it based on the photo, not so much just the fact that they fit together, because everything can fit together. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a complete picture by the time that you're done.
Yep, sorry. We'll reach the limit of our special guests waiting. He was not the special guest. Anthony was not the special guest. But
nobody's guessed the special guest.
Well, I'd be very surprised if they do. Oh, I'd be very surprised if even most of the eRank team had figured out who the special guest was. Oh, hi.
But the puppy is always a special guest, even if the puppy wasn't the scheduled special guest.
The puppy is supposed to be tired and behaving himself because he had his first proper big boy walk today, but he's not tired. Yep.
Well, let's see. I found that I mostly hit broad matching, so more than direct keyword matching in my tags. And you know what? That's normal. You're going to get more broad matches in your tags anyway. That's why sometimes you have tags that are absolute nonsense, because you're broad matching anyway. So most of my tags, if you were to go into my Etsy shop and, you know, put my Etsy shop into like your competitor analysis and look at my tags, you would think I didn't know what I was doing, because none of my tags make any sense and they all show that there's no searches for them, but it's because I'm broad matching within those tags.
Exactly. The broad match, and also you're doing a science experiment there as well. So you might have found what might look like good keywords, but then you run it and you find out that very different things turned up. Behave yourself.
I've been requested to grab the cat.
Yep. We've got to finish off with animals.
Apparently, he's going to get me all hairy before my very important eRank meeting after this. Isn't that right?
Yay.
Let's just start ending every Thursday live stream with the pets. I have 3 pets, so there's always one I can grab. I have snails too, but
they're not so easy to bring out on screen.
No,
they're not so snuggly. Oh,
and then I gotta wash my hands, like, because I'll get slimy. So what? He doesn't want to be held right now.
No, neither does he.
Well, he's more cuddly. Mine, I can feel getting tense and angry at me, and
oh dear,
he's gonna end up leaping. All right, I'll let you go. I know you don't want me right now. Go on. Yep. All right. Let's see. Well, guys, it looks like we're at the 4 o'clock mark. Pam and I have a meeting, so with each other and other people, but a famous YouTuber. We'll just leave it at that. We have a meeting with a famous YouTuber, so we'll let you guys try to figure out who it is. But it's not me and it's not Pam. It's another.
Well, it is. Yes, we are also the famous.
We are part of the famous YouTuber society. and we're having a meeting with another famous YouTuber. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will not be here this upcoming Thursday because it's Halloween and I've got a kiddo and she's going to want to do Halloweeny stuff. But hopefully, Pam, you guys are still gonna, you're still gonna be.
Should be, yes. Bryan, I don't know if you're there, but yeah, Bryan's going to want to do a Halloween show, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's the Halloween king. And is it Mr. Beast? No, but
definitely.
He's welcome to come on the channel and give us money anytime. I will gladly take some Mr. Maybe Bryan can dress up like a monster and he can be.
That sounds good. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you next week. Bye.